every bit of media that gets shared on the platform, whether it's a picture of a tree, whether it's a video of a 100 of coral fragments that have just been placed into the nursery, we use AI to validate whether that is actually correct.
I think that we can all agree that there is quite some greenwashing out there. How can leaders, in your opinion, tell the difference between partners that really have sustainability at its core and those who are just using it for marketing purposes, basically?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it comes down to fact-checking these kind of commitments that are being made. So have a sit down, have a long and hard look at what the commitments are, and particularly what independent third parties say about the partners that you're working with, right? These evaluation reports that are out there and that continue to appear on a yearly basis. Those, I think, provide a really good basis for benchmarking these sustainability commitments. And other than that, I also think it's really in the actions that these companies take, right? Because there's a lot of low-hanging fruit, easy to make commitments, right? The ones that are more ambitious and courageously take action that sometimes can even hurt a little, but it's just they do it because they know that it's needed. Those are the ones that you need to be on the lookout for.
So now that we've got this platform here, do you have any advice or anything you'd like listeners to take into consideration for their next 12 months of planning and mission statements, perhaps?
Yeah, so my advice would be plan out your sustainability agenda to achieve two things. One is reducing your negative impacts, all of your negative impacts, so not just carbon emissions or anything, but look at biodiversity, look at all these things that legislation is now pushing you to do anyway. Make those negative impacts as small as you can. At the same time, create a positive impact to put next to that and increase that as much as you can. Both of these things, do it within what is currently and economically and technically possible for you in the reality that we live in. But push hard to really get to that regenerative economy that we want to see. And then the final thing is communicate about these two things simultaneously and frequently, right? Share what you're doing, share what you're learning, share what your plans and ambitions are for the future. That way you can tell a more honest and fair and equitable story about sustainability of your organization.
So can you walk me through how Sumthing is making use of AI at this moment?
Yeah. So how we're using AI is really, we have a very variety of use cases for it, right? So every bit of media that gets shared on the platform, whether it's a picture of a tree, whether it's a video of a 100 of coral fragments that have just been placed into the nursery, we use AI to validate whether that is actually correct, whether the date, the time, the content of that media fits with our expectations versus the agreements that we have with all of these partners. The second thing is, I think, to make sense of changes over time, right? Because when you plant a tree or restore a coral, that's only the starting point of that journey towards a flourishing ecosystem, right? So we can see wildlife return to these ecosystems, right? Birds or small mammals or even fish. Cameras can detect that, or cameras can see it, and then AI can detect it, that it happens. That gives us really valuable information about the quality of the restoration work that's being done and the effect that it has. But it also provides really engaging moments to those businesses and individuals that made that possible in the first place. And creating those connections at scale would literally be impossible without AI.
So, looking a bit forward and into the future, what are you hoping to do with Google Cloud technology, say, the coming 12 months?
Yeah, so here I take some inspiration from the natural world, right? We can see things, we can hear things, we can feel. And all of these things you could say are sensors that we have as human beings. But these sensors we can also power with technology and then place them in nature so that we can see fish returning to a coral reef. We can listen to the sounds of birds and monkeys returning to a forest, right? So all of these senses that we can create for nature, we want to bring together in one place in our platform, and then we apply AI to it in order to make sense of it again, right? Because no one can listen to the sound of a forest for 24 hours a day, but AI can. And then once these interesting moments happen, like this is the first time this kind of monkey is sighted again in a reforestation area, brilliant. Then we can use that as a really engaging and relevant update for everyone that made that possible in the first place.